I'm a little bit more prepared this time. Welcome again to another episode of Live is But a Stream. I actually started, you know, get this right. I actually started the stream a few minutes ago, right? But I didn't start it on purpose. So something must have happened where I actually just ended up pressing the live button. But yeah, I didn't mean to start it on purpose. But Whoopi was in here. Whoopi was like, "Hey, there's something missing." So like, basically, what was happening was it was actually just it was just rolling, and all you were seeing was the chair and whatever was behind the chair, like the jacket that's on the chair and all of that sort of stuff. But big shout outs to you, Whoopi. Thank you so much for tapping in and pointing that out. But yeah, I came across you know, here's my thing, guys. Here's my thing. Whoopi says nothing seems to be missing. First, how you doing, man? Grace and peace be with you. Big up yourself, Terrence B. How you guys doing, man? Welcome along once again, brothers. How are you guys tonight, though? Before we get into this, I hope all is well with each and every single one of you guys. You know, right now it's only both of you that are in the chat, but yeah, hope all is well with you guys. But yeah, so we kind of like I've been hearing. Okay, so here's my thing. Before we even get into that, Whoopi says, Terrence says, I'm well. Allergies are getting to me, but I'm blessed, man. Tell me about it, bro. I know how that feels, man. I know how that feels. Some fermented garlic, right? Garlic and honey. That kind of helps me with my allergies. I've been fermenting this for about a year now. It's been fermenting, so definitely helps whenever sometimes I'll put it in my food or whatever. Gave a bottle to my mom. My sister's got a bottle. Um, you know, gave some to other people that needed it, and I kept this one. I got another one over there, but not too sure about that one. But yeah, fermented garlic definitely helps with my allergies whenever I am getting allergies. But I mostly have like spring allergies, but sometimes in the fall it gets a little tricky. You know, so yeah, that works. But yeah, so my thing is this, right? Whenever we want to criticize someone, right? Because you're not immune to criticism when you live in a democratic society. You're not immune to criticism when you're the president of a nation like America, right? So people are going to criticize you. People are going to criticize you based on the things that you've done in the past. People are going to criticize you based on the things that you're doing in the present. You're not necessarily going to be able to please everyone. Fine. Fair enough, right? But the thing is, you want people to be fair when they are in positions of power, right? And when you do criticize them, you want it to be something where you're criticizing them based on something that it is that they're doing wrong in general, right? When and this isn't me coming at, the Democrats or coming at independent creators or anything like that. But let's not get something and grab it and run with it, right? Let's get to the bottom of it. So if you're gonna say that this is what that Trump is saying something, let it be something that he's actually saying, right? Don't try to put words in people's mouths. Okay, this is it. Look, he says enough outrageous things, right? All on his own. So my whole thing is this. We don't have to go making up narratives. We don't have to build a narrative. We could just use some of the things that he's done and some of the things that he says, right? As opposed to making things up and adding and subtracting and saying this and then other people just kind of running with it, right? So misinformation is something that the right wing does very, very well. I mean, at an elite level. Even when you see right through the bull crap, there are those people that kind of just soak it up for whatever reason. This is what it is that they want to hear. And this isn't me defending Trump. But in this situation, I didn't hear what I saw a lot of people were posting, right? I don't know if I'm not smart enough to understand what it is that he's saying. I don't know if I'm not experienced enough to understand what it is that he's saying. But I just didn't hear what everyone else kind of heard when Trump said this, right?
I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity.
Right. So if this is a level playing field, right? Would this or would this not be something that you want? I don't know. I don't know if I'm missing something here. I don't know if I'm not quite understanding what it is that he's saying, but he's basically talking about penalizing people that are involved in racism. Personally, I don't see anything wrong with that, provided it's precisely what it is that he says it is, right? Schools that are engaging in some sort of racism, he's going to go after those types of schools. I'm not against that. If it's something where people kind of running with this narrative and they're saying, oh, he's only targeting black schools, I didn't hear him say that here, right? That's not what I heard. So I don't know what it is that I'm missing. I don't know. Maybe the chat could help me out. Maybe I could understand it a little bit from a different perspective. But I don't like when I see people kind of posting and reposting it. Mind you, again, the guy already says enough things, right, to get him jammed up. He says enough things that we're like, hold on, whoa, what exactly is it that you're saying, bro? What's going on there, brother? There's a disconnect there, brother. But when he says things like this, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to create a problem where I don't see a problem, right? Now, if he's coming out and he's saying, and he's adding to it, and he's saying, oh, yeah, only this group of people will benefit from it, or it's being enforced where only one group of people are benefiting from it, then that's a whole different story. But that's not what we see right now. That's not what's really happening, right? So let's call a spade, right? Let's not unjustifiably criticize someone. And again, this is not me defending Donald Trump. This is not me defending Donald Trump, right? You guys know how I feel about Trump, right? But we got to call it right down the middle. Right? If we want to get to the bottom of things, and we're independent creators, right? And some people call themselves liberal media, or right? But let's get to the truth. Let's not fabricate things. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna kind of play it back a little bit again and kind of listen to what it is that he's saying.
Direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination.
Schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination. He's going to direct the DOJ to pursue schools that are engaging in racial discrimination. Help me to understand. Chat, I need you guys to actually help me on this, because maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe there's some sort of key word, maybe something was snuck in that I don't quite understand. And I'm really trying to kind of understand it, right? Because this is something it's essential, right? Like, I'm sure a lot of people have kids that are in school, kids that will probably have to face these things as well. You know, help me to understand what this is. What exactly that he's saying.
And schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity.
Unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity.
Explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment.
So they're going to be fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. So I'm guessing this is whatever it is that they've been given by the government. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe there's a disconnect there. Maybe I don't quite understand it. But let's go on. Let's hear more.
A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust.
So this is the reparation part that people are kind of talking about. So a portion of what's been seized, a portion of what they take back is going to be given to the victims of this racism, right? So, I mean, it doesn't sound so bad to me, right? Like if you're a minority, like myself, like maybe a lot of people that are watching this, is this not something that you want to hear? I didn't hear where he said, "Oh no, only this group of people are going to benefit from it." I didn't. I missed that part. So again, this is one of those things where it's like, I want to call a spade a spade. Yes, he's not immune to criticism. Yes, you guys already know how I feel about Trump, right? But we got to be honest about these things. We got to be honest about these things, right? And I'm not going to sit up here. I'm not trying to, call anybody out, right? But don't let this be one of those things where they kind of just appeal to just your ego and, again, those low vibrational frequencies within each and every single one of us, right? Don't let it be something where people sort of insinuate something and put words in other people's mouths and then just shove it down your throat and say, here, this is what it is that he's saying. No, interpret it for yourself, right? You don't need anybody else to kind of interpret these things for you. And I get kind of disappointed when I see other people kind of posting these things and I'm like, yo, bro, I don't know if I'm hearing the same exact thing that you're hearing. Again, this ain't me, this does not me defending Trump. But the truth is the truth.
Policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars.
Policies that hurt our country so badly. Okay, maybe this is the part where there's some sort of disconnect. That's kind of vague. What are these policies that he's talking about that are hurting the country so badly? Not entirely sure what it is that he's always talking about. Jim Crow laws? Like, what exactly is it that you're talking about? What are these policies? So maybe this is the part where people are kind of like filling in the blank and, adding and subtracting. I'm not entirely sure, but let's hear the rest of it.
Hardworking taxpayers. And now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all.
Gonna get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all. Now, again, this is something where whenever I click on, certain, I don't know, I guess liberal media, independent journalists or independent channels that I do see, right, that I tend to support, right, and I see them and they're talking about this and they're gearing it towards where they're putting words in the guy's mouth. Again, maybe this isn't something that I understand, right? So let's go to TYT. What's this? TYT Sports or TYT? Let's see. I'm not entirely sure. So let's go to TYT and hear what it is that they have to say on TYT. And as a matter of fact, his niece actually spoke on this as well. And we're going to get into a little bit of that as well. But chat, honestly, please, I'm going to go through the chat first before I even go any further because I want to understand this a whole lot better. Maybe there's something that I'm missing that I'm not understanding. So please help me, chat. Let's see. Hold on. What exactly are you guys saying? Are you Snoop Dogg? No, I'm not. If Diddy diddled, don't know what you're talking about. Are you good enough to enter heaven? Okay. Transfer trust. See, guys, this is why I pay more attention to like the super chats because things like this happen. I've got an opinion. Okay, what's your opinion? Brightbox squared. New to the stream. What is the question? Well, I was asking Ashton Alwyn. I'm trying to understand what it is that Trump said because people are saying that he's given reparations to white people. And I'm listening to it and I don't hear what he said that, right? I'm trying to understand where it is that he said that. I didn't hear him kind of isolate or kind of say this group of people or that group of people. And this is just me calling it right down the middle. This isn't me playing devil's advocate. This is just me going off of what it is that I hear. And maybe there's some keywords or some buzzwords or something that kind of popped up that I'm missing, but I just don't understand the narrative that we're trying to run with. Let's run with the truth, right? Let's run with what the truth is. Let's not fabricate something and run with it. The guy says enough things and enough crazy things that we could go off of what it is that he actually says and what he actually does instead of making something up. Let's not make anything up when we're talking about politics. Let's not make anything up just because we don't like a guy, right? Let's not make up what it is that he said. No, the truth is enough. It's just that simple. The truth is enough. Again, you guys know how I feel about Trump. Again, this is not me defending Trump. This is just me calling it like I see it. Let's call it like we see it. Right? You wouldn't want, because somebody doesn't like you, they start making stuff up about you. Right? And they start twisting your words. That's gaslighting. That's not what we do. Gaslighting is not what we do. Gaslighting is what they do. This is the exact thing that it is that we're against. And maybe it's one of those things where we're kind of looking at it like, oh, they got one up on us because they won this election and this, that, and the third. And I say they, and us, right? I'm using that, tongue in cheek, so to speak. But maybe this is one of those things where we're kind of looking at it like, oh, well, they won the election. They won the election spreading a whole lot of misinformation, an unbelievable amount of misinformation. Did I say misinformation? Because it was just misinformation after misinformation, right? I understand that. I get that, right? But at the same time, that's not a strategy that I want us to adapt, right? Somebody has to be standing up for what the truth is. A group of people have to be standing up for the truth is. And that's what it is that I believe in when I say, all right, cool, I'm going to support this group of people or I'm going to support this political party. And the people that are in this political party, I speak highly of them because they're not doing what I see the other people doing. They're standing up for what it is that I like. Understand what I'm saying? What victim? I'm trying to listen to everyone, but I'm confused. What rights you don't have that I do? Honestly, I'm trying to learn. Isaac, me too. I'm trying to understand. Make sure you guys are liking the video as well while you guys are in here. Come over to the good side. Says Febson88. Febson? I'm not entirely sure what it is that you're talking about. Here, the good side. I know you ain't inviting me over to that side, young man. Big up yourself. Thank you for joining the stream. Welcome to the stream, buddy. But yeah, I don't think I will be joining that side anytime soon. Yeah, I don't, no, you guys got quite a bit of extremism that I don't really understand. But yeah, big up to you, man. Big up to you. Imminent Root says DEI. People should be promoted on merit and skill alone, not color. DEI. See, this is what it is that I'm talking about. So I don't even know what DEI means. So Google, powerful search engine. I'm going to ask Google what exactly is DEI. And maybe this is where the disconnect came in, or the misunderstanding came in. What is DEI? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So DEI stands for diversity, equity, inclusion. It's a term used to describe values and practices that promote the participation and representation of diverse groups and individuals. DEI can help create more inclusive and accessible workplaces by acknowledging differences. DEI recognizes and embraces people from all backgrounds, including their race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, religion, age, disability status, and political affiliation. Providing opportunities, DEI aims to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to achieve their full potential, including fair treatment, access, and ability to advance. Creating a sense of belonging, DEI seeks to create a welcoming environment where everyone feels respected and has equal opportunities to contribute. DEI can have a positive impact on the workplace, leading to improved morale, increased productivity, greater innovation, and better decision making. DEI increasingly DEI is increasingly being recognized as an important aspect of responsible and ethical business practices. Okay, so now let's play it back. So now we kind of have an idea of what DEI means. And it's basically about just being included and equality and all of that, good stuff.
I will direct the Department of Justice to pursue federal civil rights cases against schools that continue to engage in racial discrimination and schools that persist in explicit, unlawful discrimination under the guise of equity will not only have their endowments taxed, but through budget reconciliation, I will advance a measure to have them fined up to the entire amount of their endowment. A portion of the seized funds will then be used as restitution for victims of these illegal and unjust policies that hurt our country so badly. Colleges have gotten hundreds of billions of dollars from hardworking taxpayers, and now we are going to get this anti-American insanity out of our institutions once and for all.
Yeah, man, I'm not hearing anything negative there. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not hearing much that we could sit up here and criticize him for saying. Right? Look, whenever he does something boneheaded in which trust me. Trust me. He's been doing a lot of in terms of the cabinet selection and these people that he's selecting to be a part of his cabinet. Those are some boneheaded decisions. I'm sure he might think that this is genius, but the way that it's looking to us, especially when we're talking about people that have been accused of doing certain crimes, and we're not going to get too much into that. But yeah, these are boneheaded decisions. If you're going to criticize him for that, I'm all on board with you criticizing him for that. I'm all on board with you criticizing him because those are things that affect the rest of the country. Not to say that this isn't. This absolutely affects the rest of the country. But if he's doing something good, and if he's saying the right things, then we got to give him his credit. Now, if he's saying this and doing something else, that's a whole different story. If he himself is actually still engaging in what he used to do in the 1970s, that's a different story. We're going to hold him accountable for those things, right? But if he's actively actually trying to do the right thing, then guys, I dare not say, let's give him the credit for doing the right things. Let's not make this one of those things where, just because we don't like a guy, we just create a narrative and just run with it. Right? Let's try to be a little bit more objective. And that's all it is that I'm saying. Maybe you guys are understanding this a whole lot different, or some of you guys, not you guys that are sitting in here. Maybe some people are understanding this a whole lot different than I'm understanding it. Maybe they are. Right? I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, guys, so my eyes are kind of red right now. I'm not going to lie to you. But yeah, people should be promoted on merit and not skill alone, not color. Look, I've been in situations before where I've experienced this myself, right? Where I know that I'm outworking other people, where I know that I'm putting in this work, but I'm not being promoted. Not based on the fact that I could do the job. Every job that I've ever done, I've always excelled at it. It doesn't matter what it is that I'm doing. It's just in me, right? If I'm doing something, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it effectively. I'm going to do it right? And I'm going to go above and beyond. And then a lot of times you'll see other people and it's like, hold on, wait. What exactly is happening here? How did they just come there? Seniority, and I've been here before. I've been doing this. I've been training these people. How come when it's time to get promoted or to get this or get that, I'm being overlooked? So I've experienced these things plenty of times. I've experienced it. So I know what it is that it feels like. But if we have somebody that's saying, hey, listen, we're going to put a stop to this in the schools, and it's enforced correctly, and it's right down the middle, what's the problem? I don't see what the problem is. So look, we're all going to be here to hold him accountable for the things that he does right throughout the presidency. But that's when he does things that are unacceptable. But when he does things that are okay, we're going to say, all right, cool. Well, you did okay right there. This right here, you're we're gonna take it with a grain of salt, but it sounds like you're saying all the right things, even though we all know that the guy is not the most honest person in the world. Like, let's just be honest about it. But in this case, he's saying something that you could be like, oh, okay. Even if you don't believe what it is that he's saying. But what it's like, what proof do you have that he's saying that he's only gonna help this group of people and not anyone else? You know what I mean? Ricardo says, don't cry, man. I'll try not to, Ricardo. I'll try not to. Trump's daddy, says Carl Johnson. I'm not Trump's daddy. I don't know what you're talking about. Kamala was positioned. The Democrats were not democratic to their American people. I am sick to death of black Americans moaning. Why can't black Americans stand up and be proud like they used to be? You're saying this, and I'm guessing you're not a black American right now. I don't know where exactly it is that you're going with that, saying that black Americans they should stand up and be proud like they used to be. I'm not entirely sure what it is that you're saying. I don't know what that even means, Lee McDonald. I don't know. I don't know what it is that you're saying. I'm sorry. Thing is, we should always carry the spirit of change and progression into our government. And he's promised a whole lot. Reversal and break setting. Promised a whole lot. Look, man. Let's see. Okay? Let's see. Hey, twin, says Beetlejuice. Yeah, okay. Okay. Who's getting money? James Cornish. I played it a few times. I guess victims of racism in schools. I think they are referring to college students that already graduated. Thing is, that's not really a huge problem as it is. Diversity, equity, inclusion. DEI didn't earn it, says Patty Rowe. Don't you get tired of being a shield to the left, says Kyle Bolt. I'm not a shield to anything. I'm not a shield to anything or anyone. To be completely honest with you, I should ask you, don't you get tired of being a shield to people that don't care about you? Listen, man, I'm all for freedom. I'm all for love, and I'm all for inclusion. I guess you could put it that way, right? For lack of a better term. And equality. Those are the things that I'm for. You know what I mean? Other people are there for maybe just me, mine, and us. And yeah, so not entirely sure what it is that you're saying, but I'm not a shield for anyone. I'm sorry. These people are so funny. Some of the best comedy on all platforms nowadays, says Grounded Flight. Pick up yourself. Diversity over merit is exactly what DEI is, says Kyle Bolt. That Opal guy, you're hysterical. It fits, though. Okay. Try to find something. This guy doesn't even know what DEI is. Do you think he knows what equity means? No, I don't know what anything means. Onions. I don't. I don't know what any of this stuff means. This guy doesn't know what equity means. Say what? Tell you what. Even if I don't know anything at all, right? Even if I don't know anything at all, I don't have an issue learning about it. I'm going to ask you a question, Onion. Do you know everything? It seems as if you're the smartest man alive, right? I bet you know what the square root of 0 is. I don't know. I don't even know what the square root of 0 is. But I bet you do. I can accuse anyone of anything, says Onions. If you're going to talk about someone, be specific. Don't be vague. Okay. All right. A quarter cup of sugar says, at this point, He'd better actually be picking out the table of wood he wants. The table. He's gonna run himself out of power. um, yeah, I guess. Hello, Nevaeh Rhodes. Thank you so much for the well wishes. I hope that you're having a wonderful day as well. My day's it's been decent, right? Didn't get much sleep last night. I kind of came home, took a little nap, and then woke up and decided that I was gonna do this stream. So it's I don't know if you know if I'm gonna be a bit. I'm going back to sleep later on tonight, but hopefully I do. I hope all is well with you, Nevaeh Rhodes. I hope you're having a fantastic day. All money is not good money, especially Donald Trump's money, says Jawande Simpson. Yeah, I mean, you are right about that. All money is not good money. But at the end of the day, this isn't Donald Trump's money. This is the taxpayers' money. This is the money that people are paying taxes. You know, and what your tax dollars are contributing to. So it wouldn't be Donald Trump's money, right? Yeah, it wouldn't be his money. It would be our money. And by our, I mean those people that are paying taxes. So, yeah. When you get your paycheck and you see all that money that comes out of your paycheck and you're like, oh my God, yeah, it's that money. It ain't Donald Trump's money, right? We all know what his situation in that is. How did we go from Donald Trump's cabinet picks to the way you act at work, says Georgina. Not entirely sure, but I guess things can relate. Things you can draw like inspiration from different things, right? You can give examples. So I guess that hopefully that answers your question. I think the workplace is a lot very similar to like schools as well. But I don't think we were talking. I don't think we started talking about his cabinet. That's not what we started talking about, to be honest with you. Cause he gets roasted every time he opens his mouth, says Leonard. Get your priorities in order, says Clovis Bounty Hunter. Talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words, says Jawanda Simpson. Explain yourself. Okay. All right. What? Are you not equal to me and you are rich? Hey, Navia, Navia, I'm gonna ask any moderator that's in this chat right now. Tim, if you're still here. I mean Terrence, if you're still here. Sorry about that. Whoopi, if you're still here. Navia, if you're still here. Anybody that mentions anything about Diddy, please just remove them from the chat. I would say time them out for minimum 24 hours. But if you so choose to ban them, you could go ahead and do that as well. But we're not talking about Diddy right now, right? That Diddy is, you know, doing Diddy things. We're not talking about him. All right, let me go down to there. What is going on here? Says what Gen AMI. Come to New York, Conrad Hotel. I eat lobster steak 4 times a day. It's free, says Harris. Are you trolling? No, you're definitely trolling. Did you did you create that account to troll me, or did you create that account to troll Kamala Harris? Um, Not entirely sure, but his name is Harris. I think you guys already know my last name is Harris as well. I'm not entirely sure if this guy's name is Harris, but looks like he has a skull of a. I'm not even. I can't even make out what it is that's happening, but I see like a black guy, in his profile picture. Um, I don't know. It looks like a skull or something. I'm not entirely sure what it is that's happening. He got a lot happening over there. I'm not entirely sure. How much American tax money does Democrats sent to overseas? Says Andrew Strickland. Um, Andrew, Google it. I'm not entirely sure. Google it, Andrew. You think Democrats are the only people that send tax money overseas? Overseas? You think you think that? Okay. Oh, then give a very specific example of which cabinet member I'm talking about. When I was mentioning a cabinet member, like Gates, you mean Gates, who is supposed to be the attorney general? I don't even remember his first name. Matt Gates. That's what it is. Matt Gates. Yeah, we're talking about people like Matt Gates. So if you want me to give a specific example, Matt Gates, right, who's been accused of some very heinous crimes, right? Let's just put it this way, to put it mildly, the crimes that he's been accused of, you wouldn't want to allow your child around them, right? Read between the lines. You wouldn't want to allow your teenager to hang around him, right? So that's what it is that we're talking about. And moreover, there are people, right, that are politicians that are saying that they actually saw videos and then he would actually brag about the things that he would do to them and how he did it as well, right? So if someone is accused or these are something that's happening with, you're not going to chance it, right? And then what they're saying is, well, evidently he was in the House of Representatives, I believe. Was it in the House of Representatives? Hold on, let me make sure. Hold on. Let me I don't want to make sure. Yeah, so he was in the House of Representatives, right? And um they were going to release like his background check. They were going to actually show everybody what his background check was. And sort of the things that he was accused of doing and the things that kind of popped up in his background, but he ended up resigning before they were able to release that. And evidently what happens is if someone resigns from that post, then they don't release the background check. So he resigned before they could release the background check. And now they were saying that they didn't want the public to see what the background check is. However, this is someone who is supposed to be transparent. We need this to be transparent. We need to see what it is that's happening so we can decide for ourselves if this is a good appointment or if this is not a good appointment. So you wanted a specific example? Yes. Do your own research, right? Type in Matt Gates, see some of the things that come up, read, go to Google, go online, right? Go to one of these news articles, read something, right? Don't rely on other people to give you, you know, all the information, right? But if you wanted a specific example, yes, Matt Gates, right? So yeah, let's just say these guys don't grade high, in terms of ethics, right? Make sure you guys are actually liking the video as well. Um, you know, I mean, come on, guys. At least you could do double tap the screen if you need to double tap the screen. But like the video. Hang on. Guys, my eyes kind of hurting a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh man, what exactly is happening? Not now. Not now. Okay. Boom. Been in America for 4 years from Venezuela, says Harris. We get food sent to our room. I don't even have to work in the Americas. Oh, we are in over 180 hotels packed with us illegals. So Harris, you would not be saying that. You simply would not be saying that. So this is how I know for a fact that you're trolling, because you're not going to come out here and say this is exactly what it is happening. But this is, again, this is somebody trying to create a narrative. So I feel like I gave you a chance already, right? But now I'm just gonna ban your dumb ass, right? You know, yeah, because you're making up bull crap and you're just trolling at this point. So yeah, I'll see you later. Hope have a nice night. Take care. $500 billion. Rhinos also voted for it, says Mike Dykes. Okay. I heard Ukraine got 30 billion. Okay. Matt Gates says Pyro. Yes, you're right, Pyro. Oh yeah, he should not be confirmed, says Eric777. I could buy so many Twizzlers with $30 billion, says a quarter cup of sugar. Look, guys, you're gonna need allies. I don't think you guys kind of look at you guys kind of look at this stuff surface level, right? You look at a lot of these things surface level, right? So America's been competing with Russia for a very, very, very long time. For very before you were born, before maybe I don't know how old you guys are, right? But certainly before I was born, right? They've been locked in the Cold War, the space race, all sorts of competition between America and between Russia, right? Russia has a powerful army. America has a powerful army. Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine happens to be an ally of America. Ukraine happens to be a country that, yeah, we're allies with, that we're cool with. We're cool with Ukraine, right? So if you have a friend and your friend is being attacked, what is it that you're gonna do? Are you going to just allow your friend to be attacked? Or are you gonna try to help your friend not be attacked? I don't know. I'm just trying to simplify it. Now, sometimes the simplest explanation is usually the best explanation. So I think a lot of things you and I don't really understand, right? Because I've never had a beef with a Russian before. Never. I've never had a beef with a Ukrainian before. I know a Ukrainian. I know a few. Well, I don't know them, but I conversate with this young lady from Ukraine on a regular basis. I don't know too many Russians. DJ Vlad, I've met a few Russians, but I don't know too many Russians. And I'm sure there are a lot of very, very nice people from Russia, right? I'm certain of it. However, there are a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we're not privy to, that we don't understand, right? So we can look at it from the surface level and think to ourselves, oh, they're sending money to help Ukraine. Are you okay with people being annihilated? Or do you think those people should be helped? Or nah? I'm not entirely sure. So I mean, a lot of people have a lot of questions to ask about. Oh, this money is going to Ukraine. That money is going. Do you think it's going to stop now that Trump is in office? Do you? Because if Putin is disrespecting Trump and Trump doesn't like what Putin is saying, and you know and targeting his delicate little ego, then what do you think is going to happen? He might even increase the amount of money that's going over there, even though Donald Trump Jr., and this is just speculation, I don't know, I can't confirm this stuff, because we did hear Donald Trump Jr. kind of sit up there and say, oh, well, your allowance is going to run out, right? Referring to Ukraine. But we don't know that. Anything could happen. But it's one of those things, guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just look at it from a surface level. There's a lot of things that it's deep. It's very deep, very, very deep, right? Russia, they're not invading Ukraine just for giggles. It's for some sort of strategic advantage. It's a strategic thing. They're doing it because they want a strategic advantage. They're not just doing it for no reason. Putin doesn't strike me as a dumbass. He doesn't. Whatever you might think of him, I don't think he's stupid. Right? So he's doing this for a reason. If he didn't see a strategic advantage, if he didn't see how he would benefit and how his country would benefit from this, he probably wouldn't do it. So, because when you really peep, right, America, and we kind of have our hand in just about everything. Kind of have our ears just about everywhere. Right? This internet that people use, the World Wide Web, the Google searches, right? The iPhones, all forms of communication, all of that sort of stuff, right? So when it's all said and done, I don't know, what do you do in a situation where you see someone that is, I don't know, maybe you guys are sworn enemies, maybe you guys are in competition or whatever it is, and you see them gaining strategic advantages? What do you do? Do you try to stop it or do you not try to stop it? I don't think you guys understand the type of individuals that are at play here. I don't think you guys kind of understand what exactly is going on. Moreover, there's a lot of innocent people being affected by this, right? And I would rather not see innocent anything that we could do to prevent innocent people from passing away and to prevent war and stop war, then I'm all for it. Anything that we could do that, right? That we could reach a resolution without having to go to that direction. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I worked with a Russian man for years. Great man, nice, very skilled, very intelligent man. I would be more okay with our government helping our own disaster victims before anyone overseas. Look, I'm all for it. I don't have an issue with. Look, I think people should be helped out here. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. Right? You're right about that. I go to Manhattan a lot of times, and I see a lot of people, and there's a lot of homeless people. These people need help. These people need mental help. They mental health, all types of stuff. Right? They need a place to stay. 100% I understand what it is that you're saying. There's a lot of people here that need help. Yes, you're absolutely right about that. I'm 100% in agreement with you where that's concerned. But other people need help as well. Yeah, people here need help. Yes, you're right about that. And I get what you're saying. You would much rather people here get help than people in other places get help. But understand that, these are human beings, that their country's been invaded. Families are being separated. People's mothers and fathers are passing away. Right? Like, that's not nothing anybody ever wants to see. That's not anything I want to see. And I'm sure if you're in this chat and you're still here, I'm sure you wouldn't want to see that either. I'm sure if the shoe was on the other foot and you were in this situation, I'm sure you would want somebody to come and help you. Because it's a life or death situation. I'm sure you would want somebody to come help you. I'm certain of it. Like, if you're in a situation and that's happening, right? I'm sure you would want somebody to come help you in any way, shape, or form. If you're unable to help yourself. So yeah, there's that. Very intelligent man. He's talking about the Russian person that he was talking about. America needs to police the world, says CJC. Look, I'm not entirely sure if I necessarily agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think we should start getting to the point where we need to start creating alliances with people. Where we should start building relationships as opposed to threatening tariffs and sanctions on other nations and creating a further wedge between us and other people and trying to rule by force. I think it's full time that we kind of start to negotiate a little bit more. because countries are looking at the BRICS alliance and they're looking at different types of people, and they're seeing how these people are getting along, how they're inclusive, and these people are competing with America, right? So I think it's time for us to kind of revisit our strategy. You can't sit up here and think you're going to police the world, right? Because we ain't all innocent. Let's just be real. America ain't all innocent, right? So, yeah, I don't think policing the world is necessarily the answer. I think sort of negotiating, sort of being more diplomatic. I think we need to start taking a completely different approach and start, yeah, I think we need to start taking a different approach. I think war should be the absolute last resort, especially when you're dealing with human beings. I think it should be the absolute last resort. Honestly, guys, I think it should be the last resort. Someone says the police got mad at me because I was on house arrest, so I handcuffed my house. I didn't know your house had hands. Where's your house's hands at? Where are the hands of your house? Wow, this guy's house has hands. Okay, okay, that was kind of funny. That was a funny little troll. Ukraine has the hub for Russia. Space launches, their scientific laboratories were built there when the USSR was in power. Soviets. I understand. Still not seeing anything from policy. We did all 4 years ago. Are you a Democrat? Maybe. Could be. Our own people are suffering more. Our government has severely impeded helping its own disaster victims. Okay, I don't necessarily agree with, if you're referring back to the hurricane situation, I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think people were being helped. I think the media kind of ran with a narrative that wasn't accurate. I think there was a lot of misinformation in that regard. I'm not gonna say we're perfect. I'm not. Again, I said it already before. Right? We're not perfect, right? And there's a lot of things that we should change, and you are right about that. But both things can be true. Yeah, I don't agree with that statement. Have we in the past, like Hurricane Katrina was a complete catastrophe. But in this situation, and rest in peace to the people who have passed on because of this situation. And I do believe that a lot was done to help these people. I think some people refused to get help because they were brainwashed. But yeah, I don't know what it is that you could do to help those people. You are a beautiful man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If we have money to send overseas, we should be helping our own people first, the people paying the taxes. I hear what you're saying, Mike. I'm not, I don't, I hear what you're saying. Russia would not change. Pat says absolutely. And who polices the criminals in America? And I'm talking about the politician. Hey, Cross Solo. That is the question of the night. Hold on. I'm going to actually pin that. Cross Solo, that is a brilliant, brilliant question. The man said, and who polices the criminals in America? And I'm talking about the politician criminals. He's saying the political. Yo, that is a WWW comment right there if I've ever heard one. Hold on. Oh crap. I'm doing this wrong this whole time. That's a W comment, man. That's a brilliant, brilliant comment. Have you ever heard of the word sarcasm? I think the guy that said about a house having hands, it's called sarcasm. Really? You think? You think? Nah, I've never heard of sarcasm. Never heard of it at all. Mm-mm. That wasn't sarcasm at all. I still didn't get the angle comment on my char. I just feel like we can't even talk about the facts of because it's all good. Bias is a hell of a thing. Hi, how are you feeling today? Feeling great. The government has budgets there. Don't just put everything in a big pool of money. So that comment didn't make sense. Yeah, you're right about that. The government, you're right about that. They have budgets that they allocate to the military. I'm sure you guys know that we have the biggest military budget in the world, right? Yeah, there's different budgets for different things, healthcare, all sorts of different things. So yeah, education, all sorts of different things, guys. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that. No, they don't, but they can seem to find money laying all over the place and pass bills to send more. But our own victims have needed help for years now. Um, I don't know how much more you want me to agree with what it is that you're saying. I don't know how much more you want us to agree with what it is that you're saying. Both things can be true, sir. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, both things can be true. Please understand that. We're not saying that you're wrong for having your opinion, but we're saying that other things can be true as well. You take once you take out the politics, it all makes sense. It has nothing to do with politics. It's all about money and power, says DC. Yeah, it's really a lot of it. Yeah, you're right about it. It's all about power, even more so than money. But yeah, it's really about power. I think money is just a tool to actually advance power as well, and to yeah. So yeah, I think power is like the key component or the key factor, right? Everyone is accountable for their own actions, no matter who you are. Even if you're a judge or a politician, nobody's special, sir, at Cross Solo. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I believe. Thank you so much. That's another W comment. I'm gonna unpin what it is that he said. Cross Solo. I'm gonna, everyone is accountable for their own actions, and I do agree with that. But yeah, what Cross Solo said is actually true as well. Like, who's gonna police these people? Because what we're seeing right now, again, when we mention people like Gates and even people like Trump, ascending to the highest office in the world, like these people were not being, the things that happened with the 34 felonies and the January 6th situation and all that sort of stuff that wasn't handled particularly well, in my opinion. So yeah, I do agree with what it is that Cross Solo said as well. But yeah, everyone is accountable for their own actions. Yes, you're right about that. But again, it seems as if there's two different sort of laws and two different sort of rules for two different people, two different types of people. So yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Not just the biggest, says Lady Luck. I think she's talking about the military budget. Not just the biggest, but bigger than the next 9 countries combined. Yes, Lady Luck. I think you're right. I didn't know it was that much. I didn't know it was the next 9. I thought it might have been the next like 5 or so. So, 5 combined. But if you're saying the next 9 combined, then I'm gonna. That's wow, wow. That is remarkable. If both can be true, then we should be helping our own first. It's our money. You do know money is not really backed by anything, right? Money is not really backed by anything. Like, we really just print paper. It's really like we're printing paper, right? And it's just the trust that people have in the currency that gives it the power that it has. That's the reason why it's used as the world's reserve currency right now, because people trust it. So yeah, I think your main focal point is money, right? Like, you focus more on talking about the money and the printing of money than you're focusing on the actual help. Um, So, I mean, which one is more important? The help or the money, right? Which one's more important to you? Because you can help these people, sure you can, without money, right? Sure you can like I'm doing this, right? I'm not necessarily getting paid for this. I haven't gotten any super chats tonight, right? Kinda getting paid, but you know what I mean? Yeah. But even when I wasn't getting paid to do this, I feel like there are times when I'm able to help people. Somebody actually hit me up on Instagram and told me that I really helped them at times when they were feeling really down, right? I wasn't getting paid to do it, especially at that time. This is before this channel even, was a part of the partner program with YouTube, and we were helping people without actually giving them any money. There was no monetary exchange. It was just people being helped. So I don't know if it's more important, the money is the most important thing, or if that's the only thing that you're focusing on, or is it the help for people more important than the money? So I think that's a question that only you could really answer at this point, to be honest with you. It's about the scheme to send money other places when we need it right here. It's our debt, our currency, and it should be helping our people first. U.S. currency is backed by oil, says Monarch Rescue. I don't think that's true at all. But anyway, I think we're going to leave it right there, guys. This was another great stream. Thank you guys all for participating. Make sure on your way out, guys, just double tap the screen, because if you're on mobile, you could just double tap the screen and it's going to hit the like button. And make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel as well. I'm certain that we went up a significant amount of subscribers. I'm not going to hang around too much longer. I think whenever I do these streams, I try to make it like an hour. Sometimes we do an hour and a half. Like before, we used to do like 2 hours and stuff like that. But I kind of do, again, I'm working on different types of content. I'm going to be making like some reaction videos and all different sorts of stuff here on this YouTube channel. So I'm going to constantly be keeping you guys engaged, keeping you guys entertained, keeping you guys informed. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing this, yeah. So big shout outs to each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for participating in the chat. And yeah. Take care, guys. Have a blessed one. Have a good bye.